at, but I'm a big believer in the polio vaccine,
Do you
the
think
Salk vaccine.
Do you think schools should mandate vaccines? Do you think schools should mandate vaccines?
I don't like mandates. I'm not a big mandate person.
Okay.
So, I was against mandates. Mostly Democrat governors did the mandates, and they
I
did
am
a very poor
live
thing.
because
In retrospect, they made a
Trump
big
is
mistake,
talking.
having to do with the education of children. They lost like a year, 2
I
years
happen to
of
be
their
watching
lives. The
this,
mandate was a bad thing. I was
and
against the mandate.
it's not what
Is
I
that
was
something you
planning
wanted
on
to-
talking about,
Yes,
but
please.
here we are. Here we are. He's answering questions.
No, I don't. I probably don't.
The people
but
in
I don't
their
know.
chat are
Ron's
so
doing a good job.
ridiculous.
It's his choice.
It's just
nothing to do
it's
with me.
ridiculous.
Laura's unbelievable. I mean, she
All
was
right.
incredible. The job she did at the RNC as chairman.
Oh,
with
you're
Michael
eating.
Watley,
Welcome, Ryan.
the
Thank you.
combination.
I love that you call
I
it
can just
supper.
speak for Laura.
That's awesome.
She is so highly respected by women.
So Trump,
mean,
he's having a
even
news
her
conference in
workout
Florida.
routines are
They
through
say
the
it's a
roof. She
surprise,
lifts
but yet there's all these media
150
there. I mean, they
pounds. I
follow
don't know
him
how
around or
else she
whatever.
does it.
But
She's a
it's
bad
political theater.
example
We
for
like to
men in
catch them
women's
when they're
sports.
live and talking shit.
I wouldn't be able to beat her. I don't
What the
believe.
fuck is
I'd
going
try
on
like
with his
hell.
face?
But no, she's an incredible woman, and it's funny.
I think people have said that he's
sometimes
having
talk
an
about,
affair with Laura.
nepotism.
So I don't know.
I never had. When I put her there, people said, "How did you get her to do it?" She could have run for the Senate in North Carolina. Ted Budd would be the first to say.
Oh dear.
And he wouldn't have run.
Welcome,
Nobody would have
everybody.
run.
Get settled in.
And she just said,
All right.
I want to really focus on my children. When the election and my,
I gotta
she's
turn
a
them off.
great-
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta turn them off. Trump gets on my damn nerves. Like he is a clown. Welcome to Political Theater with Dr. T. I am Dr. T. Happy New Year. Have I been live since the New Year? I feel like we did the New Year's Eve countdown, and like 2 minutes after, I was like, I'm out of here. Have I gone live since? I don't know. Thank you. Okay, well, oh, you love my glasses. Thank you. I just got them. They're putting a little bit of a glare though, so I am actually going to take off my glasses because they're giving me a little bit of a glare, and I don't like that. So we have some stuff to talk about. No, you know what? I haven't, because I wanted to talk about some of the things that's been going on. Yes, it's the first live of the new year. Welcome, Dr. Hall. Good to see you. All right. So first, let's go back to New Year's Eve. While we were in here counting down the time, Mother Nature was having her own moments. And it appears that there were a series of lightning strikes. And I don't know what's going on. Like, let's see what's happening. All right. Let's see. The lightning striking this is the Capitol. Oh, we got another angle. Let's get another angle. Oh man, look at that. What a photo. All right, but then the Washington Monument is also struck by lightning. Oh, another angle. Shabam. Well, listen, folks. Listen. I don't play around with Mother Nature and science. So I said the Tower card. I saw somebody saying that, right? That's the Tower cards, right? Wow, that's harsh. Unfortunately, the right people weren't in there dressed in aluminum. Wow, didn't expect that from you. That's kind of spicy. World Trade Center. There's still a World Trade Center? You mean the new one that they built, the Freedom Tower, Empire State Building, and Washington Monument? Yeah, I was looking as I thought it was Empire State Building and some other buildings in New York. Excuse me. I mean, so we have been talking about the fall of this empire, right? We have been talking about, we're in year 248, empires fall at year 250, that there might be something going on with the United States, kind of, with Trump being reelected. I mean, arguably top 5 worst presidents ever, right? I will not give Donald Trump worst president because Andrew Jackson. But definitely, I would say top 5 worst presidents. feel like my degree is about to fall off the wall. Let me just take it off. Oh, shit. Oh. Oops. Anyway, so those lightning strikes, right? Striking across and, all that kind of stuff. Maybe a sign of things to come. So Donald Trump is back. The lightning is striking. We're going into 2025. Might be one of the most, one of the most tumultuous years of human history. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Like, I don't know. So, I don't know. All right. So that was happening. All right. So some tragic things, right? Wow. I do my own stunts. Wow. He's not the worst only because he doesn't enslave people. That's part of it, right? Let's not forget what this country has done to Asian people, indigenous people, I mean, there's presidents that have overseen those things, right? Right. So some tragic things have happened. Well, first, there was a Tesla Cybertruck, right? There was a driver who drove into, well, he didn't drive into the tower. He parked in front of the Trump Tower and his car exploded. And the reason why I'm kind of trying to be careful, let me actually put my allegedly banner because, y'all ain't gonna catch me. Y'all ain't, allegedly, he drove his Tesla or a Tesla in front of Trump Tower in Las Vegas and it exploded. So let's see what he said. Okay, so here's an alleged manifesto. Allegedly. And so if you want to know why I keep saying allegedly, it's because I don't trust the United States government. I don't trust the CIA, the FBI. I don't trust none of these people. Y'all know I keep a 10. You know what? Actually, we just going to use this. Remember this from New Year's Eve? This is my tinfoil hat. I'm just going to keep it here because y'all know I don't trust nothing. Hear what I say. I don't trust any narrative that comes out of the media. The media is weaponized to control narratives, to feed us what the government or the powers that be want us to think. So we got to be careful with anything that comes out, right? So I'm saying allegedly. Let's see what we got here. All right. Fellow service members, veterans, and all Americans. So this guy was in the service, right? Time to wake up, all caps. We are being led by weak and feckless leadership who only serve to enrich themselves. All right. So far, so good. Okay. So far, I'm with him. So far, he's kind of serving Chris Dorner. That's our personal hero, Christopher Dorner. If you don't know who that is, we'll revisit that. Our personal hero. Military and vets move on DC starting now. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm yawning, y'all. My diaphragm is a little compressed. Militias facilitate and augment this activity. Oh, is this a directive? Oh, it is. Because the next line says, occupy every major road along Fed buildings and the campus of Fed buildings by the hundreds of thousands. Your man's is giving directions. Now we actually still don't know what side he's on. I'm still with him. I agree. In this house, Christopher Dorner is a hero. Right. We just, All right. Lock the highways around down with semis right after everybody gets in. Hold until the purge is complete. Okay, wait. Okay, this is to fellow service members, veterans, and all Americans. So that's everybody. That's 300 and however many million people. He's saying, military and vets. Okay, so military folks. He's saying that you all have to move in on DC starting now. gather up militias to facilitate and augment this activity. I don't know if that's National Guard, which would be part of the service, I imagine. Excuse me. But then I don't know if he's meaning like vigilante militias. Could be talking about the KKK, could be talking about the Black Panthers. We don't know yet. This mystery is still unraveling. We're not sure. But then he says that they should occupy all the roads, lock the highways around. So I'm thinking around DC, lock those down with semis right after everybody gets in. I'm thinking he means maybe trucks, semi trucks coming in, and then hold until the purge is complete. Now, what he's talking about, the purge. Now, what is he talking about? What purge, my friend? Mi amigo. K purge. Well, who are we purging? All right, so let's see. Now he says, try peaceful means first, but be prepared to fight to get the Dems out of the federal government and military by any means necessary. Yeah. That's where he loses us. That's where he loses us. Hold on. Now, y'all know I'm not a Democrat, but I'm not a Republican. He's attacking Democrats who, for all intents and purposes, are on the right side of things. Now, y'all know how we could go into this or whatever. So that is signed MSG Matt Livelsberger 18Z 10th Special Forces Group. That's the first page. Now, oh boy, this one is looking a little bit different. Okay. You think he fell into a Q hole? Yeah, like I think so too. Oh, I'm so sorry, y'all. Like I'm like yawning, like waiting for a dick to pop in my mouth or something. This is wild. All right. We are in the United States of America, the best country to ever exist. But right now we are terminally ill and headed towards collapse. Okay. So now you brought us back. Yeah, okay, I understand. Okay, you don't like the Dems. Mike could get with you on that. He's not wrong. We are terminally ill and headed towards collapse. He's correct. 100%. We are crumbling because of a lack of self-respect, morales. He didn't say moral. He said morales and respect for others. You know what? I'm still with him. I'm still with him. Greed and gluttony has consumed us. He's not wrong. The top 1% decided long ago they weren't going to bring everyone else with them. You are cattle to them. Your man's is not wrong. He's not wrong. We have strayed from family values. All right. And corrupted our minds. And I'm a prime example of having it all, but it never being enough. I don't know what family values he's talking about, but a lot of us are just sitting around waiting to die. No sunlight, no steps, no fresh air, no hope. He's not wrong. Our children are addicted to screens by the age of 2. We are filling our bodies with processed foods. Again, he is not wrong. Our population is too fat to join the military, yet we are facing a war with China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran before 2030. Again, he is not wrong. One of the things that came up in Project 2025 is that they want to lower the requirements and standards for people to enlist because they're finding that the young people are too overweight to join the military. And they want to change some of the mental health requirements because now we've got all these, folks being diagnosed with various neurodivergencies and, psychiatric, things. They want to change that too because their coffers are low. And so they need more people. So he's not wrong about that. We must take these actions if we're going to make it the next few years of one piece. Oh, excuse me. So he has a list. We must end the war in Ukraine with negotiated settlement. It's the only way. Focus on strength and winning. Masculinity is good, and men must be leaders. Oh, hell. Oh, here we go. What's going on? Oh, somebody said they listened from Atlanta, Georgia. I love it. Thank you. Weed it out. Okay. Strength is a deterrent, and fear is the product. All right. weeded out those in our government and military who do not idealize number two. So if you're in the government and you don't idealize masculinity and men being leaders, we need to get rid of you, is what he's saying. The income inequality in this country and cost of living is outrageous. He's not wrong there. The number of homeless on the street is embarrassing and disgusting. Have some pride and take care of this. Well, I mean, he ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. Now, listen, he's only diverged about 3 times, and most of this is some good stuff. I mean, it's got some good stuff. You know, we got to be able to see. We got to be able to see all sides, right? All right. Stop obsessing over diversity. Oh, he lost us again. We are all diverse, and DEI is a cancer. Oh, he doesn't know what DEI is. Most people don't. Thankfully, we rejected the DEI candidate. He was basically calling her an N-word. And we'll have a real president instead of weekend at Bernie's. Okay, so he's a Trump supporter. He made it very clear that he's a Trump supporter. But if this tells us anything, is that Trump supporters are also having their issues with the status quo of our leadership and like how they've been going on about things, right? All right, he says, we must move on from the culture of weakness and self-enrichment perpetuated by our senior political and military leaders. We are done with the blatant corruption. Our soldiers are done fighting wars without end states or clear objectives. Yes, correct. He is not wrong there. This is not a terrorist attack. It's a wake-up call. Oh, he said this is not a terrorist attack. It is a wake-up call. Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence. What better way to get my point across than a stunt with fireworks and explosives? Why did I personally do it now? I needed to cleanse my mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burden of the lives I took. That is PTSD. Your man's got severe PTSD. Consider the last sunset of 24 and my actions at the end of our sickness and a new chapter of health for our people. Rally around Trump, Musk, Kennedy, and the ride the wave to the highest hegemony and for all Americans. No, we don't want American hegemony. We are second to none. So that's very much America first, but also that military indoctrination, right? That false patriotism that, you know, we got to kill everybody and keep America on top. We don't buy into that. His beliefs are a bag of trail mix, but also I'm gonna offer that most people have views that maybe don't perfectly align with whatever political party they align with or whatever. A lot of people have mixed. That's why you see candidates try to go towards the center and the middle, because the majority of the people are closer to the middle than they are to the extremes. Like we'll have like the radical left, like me, and then you'll have the radical right, like MAGA, you know, and those extremists. And then you have people that are like right in between there. And then but you have most folks are kind of in this middle, right? They'll hold on. Yeah, you know what? They don't like, you know, the social safety nets, but they also want abortion to be legal, right? Those kinds of folks, right? So, you know, he's a veteran, and it does appear like he had this sounds to me like PTSD. So here's what gets me though, is that they're saying all kinds of things about what happened. They're saying that he took his own life. Then they're saying things like they kind of knew that there was something going on, that something was going to happen. Some people are saying that he was shot by someone else. I mean, there's a lot of things that they're saying. They're like, oh, the truck completely exploded, but they just happened to find nearly intact identification. Like there's a lot of conspiracy theories that are going on, but what we do know is that a truck exploded in front of a Tesla truck, right, which belongs to Elon Musk, exploded in front of a Trump Tower in Las Vegas. And like he said, he made a spectacle. He knew that we would pay attention to this. He knew that we would start trying to connect the dots or whatever, because he did those things. So it was symbolic, but also there weren't a lot of people around, you know, weren't a lot of injuries, similar to Luigi Mangione, sorry. This idea that I don't actually want to hurt other people. I just want to make a statement. I want people to wake. It's a wake up call, right? So we have a wake up call. Okay. So then we switch gears a little bit because then a few days ago on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, another veteran, which I'm reading from the same base. Can we confirm in the chat is the same base? I'm reading that another veteran from Texas seems to have been radicalized by ISIS or whatever. This is what the media is saying. That whole radicalized nonsense and all of that shit. I don't pay much attention to that because I've been radicalized. I've had many moments throughout my life that have radicalized me in different ways. So I don't even look at that. Yeah, Fort Bragg. Oh, Fort Bragg. Jeez, wasn't Fort Bragg on the hook for like abuses of soldiers? Okay. Okay, wait, actually, let me see. Fort Bragg abuse soldiers. Oh, sex trafficking and drug abuse by U.S. troops at Fort Bragg. Oh, oh no. A dozen service members were questioned and legal counsel. Oh, sex trafficking. Oh my gosh. It was a trail of tears and douchebag cars. Wait, what? What? People that we know of that we hear about have tested positive for cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, marijuana, ecstasy. Jesus Christ. No one seemed to give a fuck about anything. Man, the special forces community has been off the wall for a while now. There have been briefings, sensing sessions, all kinds of things to figure out a solution. Near as I can tell, everyone has just been kicking the can down the road. Oh my God. All right. This guy did say he was special forces, right? Fort Bragg, special forces. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's go here. So yes, Wednesday. So today is Sunday. Wednesday, there was a pickup truck I'm reading from The Guardian. Pickup truck bearing Islamic State flag was driven at high speed in the city's French Quarter, killing more than a dozen revelers. I think we know that number is 14 right now, I think. And before police shot the attacker dead in a gunfight. And so the Republicans, of course, they come out. Oh, so the guy's name was Shamsuddin Jabbar, 42 years old, born in Beaumont, Texas. They've decided, they've kind of determined that he was a lone wolf, acted alone. And he served in the U.S. Army for 13 years. He was living in Houston, which is about 6 hours away. I just wonder if we can think about that, right? So they're saying that he was radicalized, whatever that means, and that he had an agenda. But the Republicans immediately, Trump himself came out and made a comment about how this happened because of our border issues. Well, this guy didn't cross any borders. This guy was living in Houston. This guy was a military service person. He decided to drive his car into a crowd and try to kill people. And they're calling it a terrorist attack. I mean, you heard his name, right? Like, of course, they're gonna do that. But also, like, that kind of thing, it is a terrorist attack, right? Because it does, I mean, not how the United States government defines terrorism, right? But it is a terrorist attack in the sense that it creates fear in a community. And there are people with Mardi Gras coming up in a few weeks, the Super Bowl coming up right after that, right? It can cause people to be nervous. It can cause people to be fearful about being outside because what if they again become a target? And I just want to issue a caution to people to just be mindful about large gatherings. Like they're talking about that Women's March stuff. I don't want nothing to do with that. I'm not going to any large gatherings of any sort for a long time, especially outdoors and things like that. I don't trust people. As we can see, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of anger bubbling, and it's only going to increase. We're going to see more and more of these types of events because Trump is going to be in office. You're going to have people that are retaliating and like kind of speaking out in protest against him through their actions. You're going to have people that are supporting him that are going to be doing some rather ridiculous things. So I'm gonna be in my house. I, I don't know what you're gonna do. I'm gonna be in my house. So of course, Lindsey Graham says every day we don't shut down the border is another day for terrorists to come in. This guy didn't come in from anywhere but Houston. Um, let's see. The last 4 years, we have seen the leadership of the FBI be more focused on the political causes of the left, going after parents at school board meetings instead of going after Islamic State members. Okay, well, you know what? Okay, yeah, it's definitely it's definitely gonna get worse. And I want everybody to like really start thinking about. I mean, I've been sounding the alarm for many years now, but I'm just hoping that you listen to me now. Take care of yourselves, protect yourselves, because people don't know how to act, and Americans have gone feral, right? The COVID-19 pandemic, the isolation, the quarantine, all of that stuff. People don't know how to act. Like motherfuckers are crazy these days. I don't even like to use that word, but motherfuckers are crazy these days. People don't know how to talk to each other anymore. People are popping off. Remember when we had that whole spat of like people shooting people from their doors? Like, oh, you open the door, you just randomly shooting somebody asking for directions. Somebody who randomly turns up your driveway, you're shooting them. Young boy that got shot in the head, the mother that got shot asking for the iPad. Like people they've gone feral. They're like kind of rabid out here. You said I too am not going to any event. I mean, I wasn't going because yeah, we know you're in the center, but you're not going even more now, right? And that's why I'm gonna be here doing this because none of us are going anywhere. So we might as well come together and just have this time together because what the fuck is going on? These people have lost their mind. Okay, some other interesting stuff. Let's get into some Elon Musk news. Elon Musk is, hold on. Elon Musk is one of those people who, you got to be mindful of what you say about him, right? Because the disability activists sometimes can get, especially the white ones, can get a little bit sensitive when you talk about people who have autism or autistic, however you refer. Some people say a person with autism, some people say an autistic person, whichever side you fall on. And I believe we know that Elon Musk is autistic, right? And so you're not supposed to talk about how he talks, how he dresses, how he interacts with people, because it could be because of the autism, right? But at the same time, he is so painful to watch and listen to. I don't know how he got this much money. Like I'm trying to understand how he became the richest person in the world. Because what? He doesn't know how to talk to people. He doesn't know how to engage. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I understand some people struggle with it. But the way that Elon Musk engages with people is through buying them. And let's just put that out there. And I don't think that has anything to do with the tism. I think that that's just a way of that's toxic masculinity. That is, white supremacy for sure. And the fact that he uses his platform to promote racist science and racist ideas that suggest that people of African descent are not as smart or all these kinds of things. Like, what are we really doing here? And why is he allowed to get away with this? I think that's where I get like really frustrated. How does he happen? And how does he continue to happen? And so when we talk about like the revolution ain't gonna happen, because nobody has done anything to him yet. Now, I don't advocate for violence, but back in the day, if they didn't like a despot, they took him out. Look at what's happening. Actually, not even back in the day. Look at what's happening now. All these damn planes these plane crashes where these international leaders are dying. Y'all really think that those are accidents? Get out of here. Like, look at what's happening in Haiti. Look at what's happening, in Sudan and Congo and things like that. Like all over the world. When France was like, hell no. Like Spain was having a whole thing. Like when people don't like, political leadership, when they have issues with those things, they rebel. Kinda. I don't understand the chokehold that Elon Musk has on the world other than him being the richest person in the world, right? So one thing I saw that I thought was interesting, for those of you that fly United, I don't fly United if I can avoid it. They're bringing his Starlink to the flights. So now his Wi-Fi is going to be on the planes, right? So if you are on a United flight and you want Wi-Fi because you have work to do, right? Maybe you have a cross-country flight, you're preparing for a speech, as I often do. Just so people know, when I fly, sometimes I fly across the country and I write my speeches on the flight and I use Wi-Fi because I'm doing research and all those kinds of things. I have no choice but to use Elon Musk's company as much as I hate him. And so when we talk about boycotting things, right? We talk about the inconvenience of boycott. It's like I would have to intentionally be like, all right, well, if they're putting me on a United flight, I'm not going to be using the Wi-Fi. I'm not giving my money to it. I'm not contributing anything to it. I got to make sure I do my work ahead of time. Like that's kind of how we handle that, right? But not everybody's going to do that. You know what I mean? Like not everybody's going to do that. So, you know, correct. Autism is not the root cause of him being an asshole. Exactly. Right. So like I talk about, you know what I mean? Like again, like I said, you kind of have to tread lightly because, you know, whatever. But he's a racist piece of shit, right? He was raised under apartheid on the wrong side of apartheid, right? Like he's a colonizer. And, you know, whatever. So that's something to think about, right? He's actually now calling for the reform leader in the UK to quit his job. He's basically dangling $100 million donation to the Reform UK party, but saying that, like, basically only if you replace Nigel Farage with a new leader. And he's thinking about, oh, so they got into a little bit of a beef over the far right political activist Tommy Robinson, who is currently in jail. And so he said that Farage does not have what it takes to lead the Reform UK. And that's really interesting because I'm reading from Independent. They're saying that 2 days ago, 2 days before that, Farage was fawning over him, describing him as a hero and claiming that he makes Reform look cool. And then Elon was like, oh, no, sorry, no, we don't do that. So he was saying that Elon was like, nah, but I will give y'all $100 million if you get rid of this putz. And I'm like, that's not how that works. But it does actually. Because what you need to understand is that is geopolitical, that's the geopolitical way. That is politics. That is global politics. That is how it works in the United States. That's how it works in any of these white countries and these major nations and any nation that has been colonized by this corrupting power and this way of being. That is actually how they do things. They buy people, right? And $100 million is, okay, so imagine you're walking down the street and you find a penny. And it's like kind of broken though. It's like half a penny. You're not going to pick it up because it's kind of worthless to you, right? $100 million to Elon Musk is a broken penny in this gutter. Okay. It's nothing. He doesn't have to, he blinks and it's nothing, right? Because we don't really understand how much money this stuff really is. So, yeah, that's, you said I would resent Musk's behavior in public equally if he was suave and charismatic because I resent his actions. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's so much about it, it's like, but then there's some people, it's like, oh, you criticize him for being this way. And they're like, well, he has autism. And I'm like, yeah, I know he has autism, but he's also a racist motherfucker. And that's a whole other conversation about how people will use neurodivergence as an excuse for their racism. And like, no, like, no, that is absolutely not how that works. Okay. Yes, if apartheid didn't happen, he wouldn't be known at all. Exactly. Right. So that's a whole thing. Right. Now, if we go back to the Cybertruck explosion, right, because of course he weighs in, And his immediate response is not to be like, oh my gosh, the people, oh, this is tragic, this is whatever. His whole thing was like, not our cars. like, like, what? He said they picked the wrong vehicle. Okay. He said, let's see. He said the whole Tesla team, senior team is investigating this right now. We'll post more information. He said we've now confirmed that the explosion was caused by a very large fireworks and/or a bomb carried in the bed of the rented Cybertruck and is unrelated to the vehicle itself. All vehicle telemetry was positive at the time of the explosion. And then he wrote later, it appears to be an act of terrorism. He said both the Cybertruck and the F-150 suicide bomb in New Orleans were rented from Turo. Perhaps they are linked in some way. Now, I don't know if this is the tism or if this is the asshole, right? Now, somebody can explain, because I've learned from folks that people, that autistic people can be very like kind of straightforward, straight shooters, not necessarily considering social clues, social context, not really necessarily able to process the sensitivity of things, right? Can come across as insensitive sometimes because they're so kind of focused on one thing. So it's possible that that's that, right? But also that's some asshole shit. That's some asshole shit. And you have to be okay with the fact that, yes, maybe you have a disability or some kind of neurodivergence that makes you behave this way, but understand that there's going to be reactions to it, right? And for him to come and say some shit like this, completely void of compassion or care or anything like that, that makes him an asshole. And I'm sorry if it's the tism that does it, but if someone were to punch him in the face for saying some shit like that, that's just what's going to happen. People are not going to think, well, he has autism. He didn't mean to be that inside. Nah, somebody's going to punch him in the face for saying something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, come on. Yes, accountability is still a thing. And so his whole thing was, it was fireworks and a bomb. It wasn't the car itself, right? And what he reveals, right, is that Tesla controls all of its vehicles, right? These are electric vehicles or whatever. Tesla is watching can watch every vehicle at any time. Tesla can tap into any vehicle's system at any time. It can monitor things. It can turn the car off. It can do all kinds of things remotely, right? So if you're driving these Teslas, you're driving these Cybertrucks, whatever it is, you are being constantly monitored by the Tesla staff. Elon Musk himself can get the keys to the kingdom and come inside of your car and see that you are getting head while you're driving. Okay. I don't fuck with Teslas. I just don't. It's just, that's kind of wild to me. So yeah, so he says things like that, and he said the evil knuckleheads picked the wrong vehicle for a terrorist attack. Again, he said Cybertruck actually contained the explosion and directed the blast upwards. Not even the glass doors of the lobby were broken. So then, he comes back and takes a moment to gloat that his car stopped, a more massive explosion. Completely skipping over the fact that this guy chose the Tesla as a statement, right? He's like, well, yeah, it contained the explosion. That's all you're gonna say? Like, that's crazy. Like, whatever. All right. All right. So we're still having issues with America First and the whole immigration thing, and then with Trump and Elon Musk and Vivek kind of talking about that. Although we haven't heard from Vivek in a few days. I don't know if you all have, but we haven't really heard much from Vivek in a few days, because that whole debacle, we talked about that last time, that whole debacle with him being like, Americans are too stupid to be good engineers. I mean, he's not wrong, but Americans are too stupid to be good engineers. So that was a whole thing. They kind of silenced him, but Elon, again, I don't know if it's the tism or if it's just him being an asshole. He don't know when to shut the fuck up. He don't know how to fall back. He don't know how to step out of the kitchen when the heat is heating up, right? Because he don't care. And you don't have to care. It's not the tism. He's rich. When you have the most money in the world, you can actually do whatever you want to do. And every time you do something, you could be like, who gonna check me, boo? Because there ain't nobody to check him. He has no predator. He has nobody above him. So who gonna check me, boo? Okay. Yeah. So that's a thing that's still going. The H-1B thing, they're clashing over that. Oh, and when you came on, some of you came on early. I was watching Donald Trump, and he was talking, and he was saying, this is total sidebar, that he supports the polio vaccine, which is in direct opposition to what Robert Kennedy was saying. So he supports the polio vaccine. Yeah. So he's having some issues with the people that he's chosen. He keeps defending them. He also said that Dr. Oz and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. were brilliant people. So again, a liar. So, there's just been a bunch of things that have gone on. And the way that I think about this, so listen, the way that I'm thinking about this, like, there's a part of me that's like, I ain't got shit to do with this, right? But also, I do have shit to do with this because ultimately, when these kinds of things happen, when we start seeing disturbances like this in the force, the people who are most affected are folks like us, right? We are the ones who bear the brunt of the fallout. When the sword fights happen among the upper echelon, the men of the upper echelon, we all get pissed on, right? Um, we have to pick up the pieces of these things. Well, all their bad decisions, all the mistakes they make, all the bombs they drop, all those kinds of things. We go to war, they're sending our loved ones out to fight, right? Um, we have to care about this stuff. We have to think about this stuff. And I'm concerned. I am very concerned because it's funny. I'd be less concerned if they could all be on one accord. I may not like the plan that they have and the accord that they have, but at least that would represent some kind of stability and something that I could work with, right? I understand what this is. This is the devil I know. I know how to deal with this. I know how to organize around this. I know how to make plans for this. But the fact that they are kind of like all over the place, the fact that they're infighting and things like that, y'all, I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, y'all, I just wanted to check in real quick and update and see what's going on. We're in the new year. Y'all, we are counting down to the inauguration. I believe the inauguration is on the 20th. Let's see. Inauguration day. It is going to be, yes, January 20th. That is on a Monday. I will see if I can go live. Then I'm not really sure. I was thinking about going live for the inauguration. I do have an early flight the next day, so we'll see how long I last, but it's supposed to be early evening. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever the 20, yeah, whatever that Monday is. So they're not doing it on a Sunday. They're doing it on Monday, yeah? Yeah, they're doing it on that Monday. Okay. So, and that happens to be MLK Day, which, you know, what's that saying? I have a really great idea for direct action we could do. You can do that from wherever you are in this world. I'll go live next time. I'll give you guys more information on that. I'm also going to post about it on my site, and I will probably post about it on social media. It's just I have an idea how to troll the hell out of this whole thing, and I'll need everybody around the world to help me out here. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank you. I saw that I got a couple of Venmos and a Cash App. I appreciate you all so very much. If you support what I do, please subscribe to this channel. Please let people know about this channel. Please like this video. Donate if you'd like. Make sure that you, when you subscribe and you turn your notifications on, you will get notified when I am live. I don't necessarily have a set schedule. I'm trying to be better at that, but I'm teaching 3 classes this semester, and I'm doing all kinds of stuff, conferences and things like that. But I'm gonna try my best to come live. We'll have these conversations. I'm thinking also the second weekend of February. You guys know that I've been organizing this kind of writing group. Second weekend of February, like either the 7th, 8th, around that time. I'm gonna be doing a writing meetup in Philadelphia. And I'll probably bring my laptop so I could be virtual too, and you could join from wherever you are. But I would really love it if you're in the area and you're able to come. I'll have more information about that as well. Again, we are trying to create and foster community. We are going to need community. We're going to need people that we can connect with in various ways to support each other and make sure that we hold each other down. So I'll be doing that soon. And I love you all very much, and I appreciate you. And I'll talk later. Bye.